Hey you guys, I am NanoMango and welcome back to another vlog. You'll notice that today I'm not using my phone. I wanted both of my hands free so that I can talk to you guys about my 3D printing. So, basically, I have done a bit of printing and I have a few here. So, you guys will remember me pulling this off of the printing bed. Now, first I want to tell you that it did not print well at all. So, I'll show you guys now. So here it is. This is my phone case as it currently stands. It's no good. No good at all. So here we can see that there's the beginning of warping at the bottom here, and the warp just continued all the way up the entire print until here, where it snapped off and broke. It's ridiculous. So what happens is if you print in a cool environment, parts of the print will start cooling, such as the bottom, before the warm stuff near the top where it's continuing printing, and so it warps just a little bit sometimes, but then as it travels up, the warp that's already set in at the bottom is affecting how the print is starting to form in the beginning, and then it warps even more until you've got this where it came out of the print like this, exactly like this, and that's so bad. So you can see that I actually have a hole here for a Lego piece. I don't know, yeah, you can see it there. There you go. I have a hole there, but it turns out the Lego piece, which is right here, is too small for it. So I made the hole too big in the first place. So this is the Lego piece I was planning on using the whole time, which should work, just not in this, obviously, because it was too big. So what I did is, after taking all the infill out of this, realized, of course, that it's really not going to work. And I was talking about doing solvent welding to just glue this together, but it's so warped that you'll see, even if I push that together, it doesn't even match up with anything else. So this is kind of a scrap piece now. I actually changed the design of this. So instead of having this end be completely open for this new print, I actually cut the model in half and made both ends closed and made the Lego piece in the center so that they could clip together, and I obviously rotated the Lego attachment piece. But in doing that, I still had this closed side versus the open side, which is halfway down now. And so I wanted to have the open side at the top so that there was no infill on the inside. However, as you can see here, where the attempted Lego opening pieces are, right there, that it printed upside down. And it started to, and it got to the, probably like, what, the 20th, about the 20th layer, before I realized that it was completely screwed up, like that I had printed it upside down. So in Cura, I went back real quick and grabbed the model and flipped it around and hit start. But I didn't close the dialog box, and the thing is that dialog box will do the same print no matter what you do in the program. So I hit stop on the dialog and then changed it around the program, hit start instead of hitting the little X and then reopening the dialog. So I reprinted it exactly like this, so I could have just saved myself close to 30 minutes to an hour of printing time because of sorting everything out, getting that cool enough to reprint. This looks absolutely beautiful, so I'll give you guys a nice good look at this. So here we go, and this looks really nice, but this took an hour of work after printing. Printing took 4.5 or so hours, almost 5 hours. That's ridiculous, first of all, for a print like this, but second of all, in the model, it has an opening just like this where you can slide your phone in, which, by the way, I have my phone here now, so you can just slide this thing right in, right? And it works perfectly. And that's the idea, is that when it hits something, it'll fall anywhere on one of these edges and it won't get destroyed. I'm sorry that the light is so bright. I'm used to it just being my face, and since I wear dark colors, it's okay, but when I hold something silver or yellow, it's really bright. This actually fits perfectly into there. However, it's really short, like this plastic area, and the idea was for it to be a lot longer, which is kind of hilarious, because if it was the thickness of the rest of this, it would about fit. The problem is is that there was an error in the file somehow, and I don't know where the error lies, because when you design a 3D model, there's not much that goes on that could go wrong, really. Because not anything visible, because this is exactly, except this was a little bit thicker, is exactly how the file was when I put it in the program. But the program thought that there was a nice big flat piece of plastic right across the opening, so there was no opening when this came out as a print, and this part was insanely thin, and so, like, actually 2.5 millimeters instead of the 5 or more that it was supposed to be. So this is not scrap, but it is not how it was supposed to be printed in the slightest. So what I'm going to have to do is print another one of these, and hopefully the two halves fit together perfectly. But what I'm going to do is, instead of printing it like this or like this, because the entire idea of printing it like this was that there'd be no support material on the inside, but the file thinks that there's, again, this entire area is closed off, so printing it like this actually still uses less plastic, which is crazy. But even worse, when I lay the model on its side, this is completely open, and I believe that this is at full thickness. So when I lay it on its side, it's perfect. When I lay it like this or like this, it's not. And I have no idea why. I think if I lay it like this, it also has that weird thing on the front. So, but when I print it like this, these holes are going to be extremely weak. Well, not like too weak to use, but weaker than I would like if there's going to be any separation, because the layers, if you put force on them, do separate a little bit because they're not perfectly melted together. They're strong, but they're not, they're not perfect. Whereas if it was molded, it would have a lot less integrity issues. However, this was not. It was obviously printed. So, like this, the layers go like this. It's a circle, and the layer is like this, and the circles are stacked on each other. So if you put something in that expands, it's only going to push against the outside of the circles. But since the circles on my future print are going to be printed like this, with a circle this way, and then the layers going like this, if something pushes, it can separate those layers. So I have to make sure that I don't have anything that pushes very hard against those circles. So that means that since these holes right here were actually drilled in a little bit because they were just the slightest bit too small since they were on the bottom layer. Also, another advantage to printing on the top layer is that the holes, when you have two parts connecting, they're very smooth, and they're almost always exactly the right size. But anyway, so if I print it on its side, these holes might be a lot weaker, and I probably won't be able to drill and expand them, so I'm kind of taking a gamble on them being the right size. So hopefully that turns out. But I just wanted to let you guys know, kind of an update, and I may even actually record the printing, the whole print of this next part, and it's going to be on its side. It's probably only going to take 3 hours instead of 4 or 4.5, who knows. So that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do leave a like, and I will see all of you guys in the next one. Goodbye.